The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
Almost halfway home in the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series, and Terry Rinker has proven to be unstoppable, winning every event so far. Can he continue his streak here in St. Louis and tie the all-time mark of 4 straight victories?
The Rinker Amsoil team is primed. We're going to be 4 in a row, and we're just going to keep this roll going.
Native son Tim Seibold comes back to St. Louis as a 2-time defending race champion. His Bud Light team has won this event an incredible 15 times in 34 years. Can he keep the Seibold magic alive and become the first driver ever to win here 3 times in a row?
The Bud Light team's prepared and we're ready to do battle.
Chris Fairchild was able to return to his old boat at the Grand Prix of Minneapolis and finally find some success, taking the Hooters machine to a fine second place. Now back at the podium once again, does he still have the time and confidence to win his first title?
With 5 to go, it's anybody's game. We'll see how the season ends up.
So drivers from 3 different countries have come to the longest standing powerboat race in the history of the sport for the 35th Bud Light St. Louis Grand Prix. For some drivers, it's reestablishing themselves with their boyhood idols. While for others, they're feeling confident of victory and feel like $1 million. But however it shakes out, the 4th round of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series and the St. Louis Grand Prix comes saluting its way at you next. From the edge of Creve Couer Lake, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, it's the 4th round of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series, the 35th annual St. Louis Grand Prix. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Michael, your host, along with my partner, Wally Shaver. Glad to have you here on a hot, humid afternoon. And Terry Rinker out of Tampa, Florida, this season has won all 3 races. And guess what, Wally? He's got the pole, and that's hard to do here in Seibold country in St. Louis.
Well, it is an oddity because it usually is a Seibold on the pole. Terry's got a little more in his mind, though. He's looking for his 4th straight win. Only one other driver in history has done that in the Champ Series, and that is Tim Seibold.
Yeah, Mike Seibold, his brother, come out of retirement. He's been racing offshore all year, but he has experience. He's won more races than anybody else on this tour over the years. And guess what? He looked strong yesterday, and he looked stronger this morning in more heat racing.
Yeah, and we've been very impressed with his overall performance this weekend, Steve. He's looking good. That boat's dialed in. And he's got something on the line, too. He's won this race 6 times in his career. Only his dad, Bill, has won it more at 7.
The East-West Express with the rookie, Sean Torrente out of Miami, Florida. He looks strong. He's starting 3rd. He also won a heat race earlier. He would love to pick up his first victory of the year.
Well, and if he's going to make a statement as to how impactful he's going to be as a ChampBoat driver, he's gotten better each of the 3 races, but he really needs to get a top 3 podium finish today to really launch him for the second half.
Great stories we'll be following all afternoon. We'll keep an eye on Tim Seibold to see how he does. He's starting in 5th spot. We'll come back and start things all off from St. Louis when we return right after this timeout. The ChampBoat Grand Prix Series on Speed is brought to you by the all-new Rudy Revolution Sports Energy Drink, and by Amsoil, first in synthetics, and by Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. Welcome to the gateway city of America, St. Louis, Missouri, for the 4th round of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series, the 35th Bud Light St. Louis Grand Prix. Let's take a postcard look at this lovely area of the Midwest as we show you St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis has so much history associated with it, and who better to spend a minute with than the man who has won this race more than anyone, local hero and race coordinator for this event, the many-time world champion, Bill Seibold.
Anytime you win your hometown event, it's probably one of the biggest wins of your career because you try harder and inevitably do worse because you've got family, you've got sponsors, you've got friends. I mean, so you always put undue pressure on yourself. I was very lucky to win it 7 times. You know, for Mike and Tim, it's carrying that family tradition on their shoulders is tough, especially at home. Michael's won at 6. He's going for his 7th win today. Tim never won it for 18 years and then won back-to-backs. I mean, these things are literally like riding on a rocket, and when they turn so violently, they can move 10 feet on you without a problem. If you hook a sponson a little or it slides on you, or do what we call releases and slides, which is like the car driver sliding out onto marbles, you can do that, believe it or not. And I think if you walked anywhere around here and said, hey, if you're a driver, what race would you want to win? They'd say St. Louis Grand Prix. And I think you could go to Europe and ask any of those drivers. If you could win one big race in the world, they would probably say St. Louis Grand Prix. It's a history. People like to come here and kick the Seabolds' butts. You know, we like to try to keep them from doing that. But it's just got a lot of history and the factory racing, and it all added up to make it the Indianapolis 500 of boat racing. It's been an excellent relationship for the Seabolds, and I hope that Anheuser-Busch feels that way, and that we've tried to represent them in a first-class manner. And it's been a great relationship for our sport. They've done as much to help our sport as any company has ever done to help our sport. Well, you know, obviously I still enjoy going to the races. I don't care a lot for the work, but it's like any hobby or anything you do in life. You know, if you want to be the best, you have to work a little harder than everybody else. And that's especially true in racing. My joke about that is always it's not all checkered flags and champagne. There's a lot of late nights.
The ChampBoat drivers have had a grueling full day of qualifying along with a pair of heat races to determine today's starting lineup. Let's set the picture and see who will lead the field for today's St. Louis Grand Prix. Starting in the fifth spot will be native son Tim Seabold of the Bud Light machine. Next to him will be a rookie driver in his very first race, a great qualifying effort for Jimmy Merlot from Fenville, Michigan. Next to him in the third spot will be Sean Torrente of Miami, Florida, driving for California Gold, looking for his first victory of the season.
Yeah, we had a great time trial, but we struggled a little off the beach. I think we got it figured out for the final, and we're going to be strong.
Back on the circuit for the first time this year is native son Mike Seabold, a many-time winner here in St. Louis. He thinks he can do it again.
The Bud Light boat that I'm running is it's running good. I had a little problem in the last second heat. I threw a blade on my race propeller, but I have a good backup, which is good news.
And the man on the pole for the third time in 4 tries this year, Terry Rinker from Tampa, Florida, who did a 32.03.
It's great to be on the pole. I mean, that's always the best place to start, you know, and we got that Rinker Amsoil boat just a strumming today, so we're going to do our best to make it 4 in a row.
Here's the remainder of the field of the drivers' lineup for today's St. Louis Grand Prix. Starting 6th will be Illinois driver Chris Fairchild. In the 7th position will be Mark Major from Canada, a rookie. In the 8th position will be Dennis Colpadlo, last year's Rookie of the Year from Michigan. In the 9th spot will be Matt Saddle, a native from Missouri. In the 10th spot will be Lynn Simberger from Elza, Illinois. In the 11th spot will be Wyatt Nelson from Syracuse, New York. In the 12th spot will be Brian Norman, another rookie, ex-offshore racer from Louisiana. Starting 13th will be Jeff Shepard out of Tennessee. 14th will be Chris Shepard from Illinois. And in the 15th spot will be Brian Benton from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. In the 16th spot will be Mike Schubert out of Houston, Texas. Here's the remainder of today's starting lineup, the largest field of the year here at the St. Louis Grand Prix. For many years, if you wanted to be a successful racer in the sport, you would go to the Seabold factory outside of St. Louis to Fenton, Missouri, and buy one of their custom-made racing boats. We talked with Tim Seabold about his latest design.
Hi, I'm Tim Seabold from the Bud Light Race Team. I wanted to take you on a tour of my 2006 25th anniversary Bud Light boat. Starting off with the design of the boat, we've made a deeper tunnel. We have safety features which include collapsible pickle forks, thicker windshield, stronger canopy lid hinge for all safety, including the latches. And this year we have a new custom-made seat that fits my body and the boat. We also utilize the AIM computer system for data acquisition. along with the KYB power steering. It's an electric power steering that takes all the torque off the driver's arms. We use an airbag system in case of an accident. A balloon comes out of this compartment and the back decks open up so that it will float the driver out of the water should he be unconscious. The design over the last few years has gone more to carbon fiber than it has the traditional wood. Me being from the old school, I like the wood bottoms. So we incorporated carbon fiber center section with wood sponsons to get the best of both worlds. We utilize a ATL fuel cell. It's a bladder tank for lightweight. The design of the back of the boat has changed shapes to add more buoyancy to the bottom. So that way the boat sits flatter for the starts and comes off the dock straight. And we also have used a new material on the bottom that actually has some texture to it that sheds the water faster. Rounding out the complete package is the Mercury 2.5 Champ motor. We have ours modified for our team by Ron Anderson and topped that off with the Wald and Mercury propellers for an overall package. This is what I think is going to help us win the championship.
Great crowds, great tradition, tremendous history of drivers. We're about set ready to go racing here in St. Louis when we return right after this timeout. Welcome back to the edge of Creve, Couer Lake here in southwest St. Louis for the fourth round of the 2006 ChampBoat Grand Prix Series, the 35th annual Grand Prix of St. Louis. And as the drivers and crews get ready, the fans have come in tens of thousands ready to watch this race event. Tim Sebold's ready to go, looking for another victory here. He's won the last two in a row. Let's take a look at the championship points. And you can see that Terry Rinker continues to lead, but oh my, anybody in the top 10 right now could easily still win this championship as we reach the halfway point of the season. So very tight. Here's the qualifying order off the dock for today's race. The big surprise, Jimmy Merlot starting fourth, his very first race ever. And Chris Fairchild has been moved from 6th all the way down to 20th. He's got an equipment problem. He'll have to start from the end of the field. Seconds before the start, we hold our breath. We wait for this large 20-boat field to get away from the dock, and off they go. And Terry Rinker, the man off the pole, who wants to try to make a major statement this afternoon, beat the Seabolds on their home ground in St. Louis. Let's see if the driver from Tampa, Florida can do it as he accelerates off in tremendous speeds, reaching up to 120 miles an hour at this point. The start of 50 tours around here on Creve, Couer Lake. And as the rest of the field tiptoes their way out of turn number 4, we go on board now with Sean Torrente. Let's see how the driver from California is handling it off early. Torrente now, oh my, he's getting sandwiched in the middle, and look at the visibility, my word. He was able to sneak his way around 3 and 4, now sets and looks for a clean lane here, and he cuts off in front of one of the Seabold boats and slides to the outside of the Bud Light machine. You can see how tough it is for the drivers for visibility, especially at the start when they're all sandwiched in together. Now as our leader comes through, Terry Rinker in that first spot. He's starting to already work his way around some lap traffic here as he pushes his way down the front straightaway. Traffic will be a factor this afternoon here on this 1.25 mile course. Mike Sebold right behind. He's the first of the 2 Bud Light boats as he fights his way. There's Sean Torrente sitting in 3rd position. He looks stronger than he has in the last race or two, as he looks like he has fine-tuned his boat, and he looks like he's got a lot of confidence. Back in 4th place, he just had a chance to see Tim Sebold as we go back to our leader. Look at how close now Mike Sebold on the right of the screen is starting to close up, and he's really challenging Terry Rinker for that number 1 spot. Rinker not finding it easy as he now works his way up on Jeff Shepard, and he tries to work his way around the Tennessee driver. And look at Mike Sebold trying to take advantage on the inside. He tries to slide himself up forward, but he doesn't have the acceleration that Terry Rinker has, and now Rinker goes to the outside as they head down that back straightaway, going in towards turn number 4 and 5. This is a 5-pin course that's laid out. It's almost like a big triangle. As Rinker now gets his way around that beautiful boat as he moves himself forward down that front straightaway. As we look out on the rest of the field, you can see Sean Torrente now started 3rd, sitting in 3rd, still ahead of Tim Siebold, who is sitting back in that 4th position. And Sean Torrente would love to finish on the podium this afternoon. Now as the boats come out of turn number 5 down the front straightaway, look at the traffic in front of Terry Rinker as he tries to fight himself around Jeff Shepard, and now gets past Chris Shepard as he goes into turn number 1 and 2. But look at Mike Siebold as he tries to go to the inside to grab the lead. Oh my, it's nose to nose, deck to deck as they come up through turn number 3 on the inside. Mike Siebold trying to inch his way forward, but look at Terry Rinker on the outside. Force him to go wide as they work their way around Brian Norman. Oh my, Brian Norman and Mike Siebold may have touched as they went down into turn number 4. And that'll do nothing but make Terry Rinker smile as he comes out of turn number 5 and accelerate away, and he's built up a 10-boat length lead now on Mike Siebold, who had seemed to have put his nose in front of Terry Rinker a half a lap ago. So Terry Rinker now sliding his way out of turn number 2. Oh no, Sean Torrente's gone out of the race, our onboard camera driver, and now he's quickly heading toward the launch ramp. You can see him as he has dropped out. He has thrown his helmet down in disgust. That's the 3rd race in 4 starts this year he has failed to finish. So Sean Torrente now, as we can see, one of the Siebold's working their way around. Oh no, we've got a problem on a race course. It looks like it's Jeff Shepard as he spins his boat out, and he's trying to keep it afloat as he launches that boat toward the boat ramp. As he tries to keep that boat moving, he does not want that to sink. As that Hooters boat from Tennessee, and as he does that, oh no, Mike Schubert's dropped out. All sorts of drama here, lap 35. Back with more right after this. Timeout here from St. Louis. Welcome back to Creve Couer Lake here in St. Louis, Missouri, and that's what's left of Mike Schubert's boat. The driver out of Richmond, Texas, just sliced the whole left side, spotsing right off that Siebold-built boat. And here's where we stand with 15 laps to go. Terry Rinker continues the lead. The 2 Siebold's and the Bud Lights chasing him down. Would love to come away with a home victory. Seconds before the restart, as we hold our breath. Looks like one of the boats gets away early, and off we go off the dock on the first of 2 flights. As Terry Rinker now on the pole, being chased hard by the Siebold brothers from St. Louis, Missouri. And Terry Rinker from Tampa, Florida, gets that Rinker Boats AMSOIL sponsored machine now through turns number 4 and 5 down the front straightaway. Mike Siebold nipping at his heels, trying to close up. He almost got by him a few laps ago, but it was Terry Rinker who was able to power to the outside to hold that number 1 spot. He has not given it up since coming off that start of the race on lap number 1. Mike Siebold drifting rearwards all of a sudden here. It looks like Terry Rinker showing great speed off the restart. Siebold tries to hold on about 2 seconds back, but Terry Rinker is trying to do the impossible this afternoon, win 4 straight races in a row. It's only been done once before. He would tie an all-time mark here in the ChampBoat Grand Prix Series if he could do it. Terry Rinker now coming down the start-finish line, completing another lap out in Clearwater. This is where he wants to be. As attrition has started to rear its ugly head, we've already lost a host of boats. We started 20 this afternoon, the biggest field of 2006. Mike Siebold, the driver we see on the screen, sitting in second, has built up a large tradition here in St. Louis. He's won this race 7 different times. Nobody else has won more. But he's chasing down Terry Rinker. He is still over 2 seconds behind, and he is hoping here on this restart that he can figure out a magical way to catch up to him and win here in his very first race of 2006. There's his younger brother, Tim Siebold, 4-time champion himself, but you can see, well, he's got problems with the right spots of that boat as it continues to peel, as he hopes he keeps that boat together to get him to the last final laps of this event. He'd love to finish on the podium, but that could be questionable now as we see our leader, Terry Rinker, going down into turns number 4 and 5. Here on Creve Couer Lake, for many years they used to race in George Winter Park, and they are now here in Creve Couer Lake, a little bit farther south in the southwest corner of St. Louis. But the thousands of people that have come here this afternoon really appreciate this sport as we come to our final lap here on this 5-pin course. And Terry Rinker now knows his dream is still alive, and he has a chance to tie the all-time mark in one season by winning 4 straight victories. Rinker now tiptoeing his way around some of the back markers as he goes down to the farthest extent on the outside of this course, turn number 3. Just 2 more corners to go, and Terry Rinker from Tampa, Florida, will come up with his 4th straight win in this 7-race series in 2006. Terry Rinker looks up, can see the checkered flag, and he will win in Seabold Country in St. Louis, capturing his 4th straight victory of the season as he comes across the line to take the checkered flag. So Terry Rinker from Tampa, Florida wins here in St. Louis at the 35th Annual Grand Prix. We'll come back and hear from all the drivers who made it to the podium when we return right after this. The ChampBoat Grand Prix Series on Speed is brought to you by the all-new Rudy Revolution Sports Energy Drink and by Amsoil, first in synthetics, and by Mercury Racing, where the race never stops. Welcome back to the St. Louis Grand Prix, and Terry Rinker has won his 4th race of the year. Let's hear from the man who finished in 3rd place, Tim Seabold.
The Bud Light boat had its ups and downs today. We got a hole in the boat, the trim stuck out, the steering wasn't right, but look, we did what we could do. I want to thank my Bud Light crew. They did a great job patching the boat up and getting it back on the water.
And Terry Rinker has snapped Tim Seabold's 2-race win streak here in St. Louis. Let's hear from his brother Mike, who finished 2nd.
I'm happy with 2nd. You always want to win. It would have been number 7 for me and all that, but, hey, getting on the podium. I was a little nervous about coming here because these guys, I know they're running good. My brother's strong. They're all tough.
So here's how we shake it down in the top 10 this afternoon. Mark Major finishing a fine 4th for the rookie. Let's hear from the man who won this race, Terry Rinker.
It was an excellent day out there. I can't say enough about my crew, my sponsors, everybody that just did everything. Great place to race here in St. Louis. And to win 4 in a row and win this 35-year anniversary of St. Louis, that's a great, great feat for the Rinker team.
Here's the full rundown of drivers for today's race. Chris Fairchild starting dead last, finished 8th on a great run. And Sean Torrente struggled early, finished in 19th position in a very large field of drivers today. Well, as our winner, Terry Rinker raises up the trophy and enjoys the spoils of victory between 2 Bud Light drivers. You can see our winner starting to slowly pull away from the rest of the competition. Tim Seabold and Lynn Sinberger sliding up to 3rd. He's having a great season. So as Terry Rinker and everybody gets the bubbly sprayed around, let's take a look at the Rudy's Hard Charger of the Day award, and it has to go to Lynn Simberger, the driver out of St. Louis. Came charging hard up from the back of the field where he started 9th and finished in the top 5. Well, it's been an eventful and exciting day here in St. Louis, Missouri, a race we'll soon not forget. For my partner Wally Shaver, I'm Steve Michael saying thanks for stopping by. We're heading off to Chicagoland. So long from St. Louis, Missouri.